Good morning. Welcome back to another market open. I hope everyone had a good weekend. I had a decent weekend. I actually relaxed probably more than I should have over this weekend. And I really got to just like sit back and lay down over the weekend. So coming back to the market opens on Monday, it's like, oh, we get back to work, right? Like we're back on the schedule. So I had a pretty good weekend, got to chill, got to relax. I hope everyone else had a good weekend. Please let me know in the comments how you've had a good weekend. I've been I've been thinking about a lot of things, and I will get answers to a lot of things I'm thinking about. I know I'm being super cryptic right here, but when I get those answers to those things, I will share them with everyone here. So my mind, I guess what I'm trying to say is my mind has been pretty occupied throughout the past week, and so it's been a little hard to focus just purely on stocks, especially with some of the stuff that's going on in the market. So we're gonna jump right into Webull, and we'll sort of see what's going on. And the other reason it's hard to focus on stocks is because we're not getting extreme upsides either way. So we're still on Friday's live stream, China QQQ. This was the last thing I discovered. I didn't touch Webull for the entire weekend because I was like, I just checked out of it completely. Stocks are up about 2% pre-market. At least the QQQ is. See, it's hard to kind of pay attention to them because you're like, is this going, like, it was just 280. Now we're at 310. Are we making extreme moves up, or are we making extreme moves down, or are we staying kind of flat? Amazon has adjusted for its split. Amazon is now, it says it hasn't fully adjusted here, but as you can see in the pre-market, it's $125. Did a 20 for 1 split. So Amazon has officially split, which means if you had 1 share of Amazon, you now have 20 shares of Amazon as a result of this split, because that's what it is. Look at the comments. Everclear, what's up? Peter, what's up? Musk kicks Tesla and then defends it. We're going to talk about Elon. Arvin, thoughts on Chris, YouTube clickbait and attacking Tom? Yeah, that Chris guy is interesting. Lloyd, hello, Mitt. Therapy if needed. You sound troubled. It's not about being troubled. It's just I have a lot on my mind, as I'm sure all of you do, right? It's not just me. I'm pretty sure everyone has a lot on their mind, and I will have clarity soon. And it's one of those things where you have it on your mind, and like you really you want to focus, and you kind of have to focus to get other stuff done, but it's really hard to focus without getting clarity on some of these answers. That's kind of the situation I'm in right now, and we'll see what happens. I think in the next couple of days I'll know what's going on. Palantir is up 1.68%. It touched 894 on Friday after hours. That's where it closed. It's up to 909 pre-market. Tesla is up 728 from 703. Very nice little, I don't know if this is a recovery, but a little uptick in Tesla. The market in general is up, right? S&P is up 1%. So if we look at the watch list, this red is mainly from Friday. Most of the market is up in the pre-market right now. Let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, look at this, 31K. Bitcoin was just at 28,000 on May 27th. So it's been 9 days since then, and it's up $5,000. So if you bought a whole Bitcoin on May 27th, you would be up $5,000. Bitcoin's still very risky. Twitter, look at this. Twitter's down 5% pre-market. Oh, interesting. So I guess people, Twitter should be like a $10 or $15 stock if it wasn't for this Elon deal coming up. So I guess we're going to see what happens ultimately, how the market reacts to it. I wonder if this is ever going to close, to be honest. Like, I have no clue. But yeah, in general, the market's green. The market is greeny. Sachin, good morning. Thank you for being here, Sachin. Good morning to you. I did a podcast over the week with Sachin. He was back to our weekly podcast, so everyone should check that out when you get a chance. We talked all about Palantir meeting with the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, and basically the implications of that. What does that mean at the end of the day? So it was a really interesting discussion that we had. And in terms of Palantir news, we talked about they were at this conference, this Bilderberg conference. Peter Thiel and Alex Karp got invited to it, which is really, really interesting. We actually discussed it in that session. So, I mean, I'll probably do a video on it later today just because I wanted to talk about it. But yeah, that is happening. For those who don't know, the Bilderberg conference is like some conference where like the most elite people of the world come together to talk about issues. It's very vague, and I guess that's why it's kind of weird. Spotify's up 117 pre-market. Kathy Wood sold 1.1 million shares of Spotify last week. She has not done any more selling over the past couple of days. We're going to see this week, I think, if she adds to her position, leaves it as it is, or if she fully gets rid of it and liquidates the entirety of the position. Amid the power of positive thinking. Absolutely, man. Gotta be positive. Even when you are uncertain about things, because there is really no other antidote to the chaos of existence other than positivity, right? Like, if you think about it, what, are you going to be negative? That doesn't make the chaos of existence any less chaotic. So if you want to get less chaotic, you would tend to be more positive. All right, let's pull up this tweet from Joe Biden, or from Elon Musk, or it's of Joe Biden. And basically, the guy said he wishes Elon luck on his trip to the moon. This was really condescending, but let's watch this right here. We're going to talk about this. I'll probably do a video on this a little bit later today as well.
He has a super. Are you going to Saudi Arabia, Mr. President? Are you going to Saudi Arabia? Elon Musk has said that he has a super bad feeling about the U.S. economy. He's laying off 10% of his workforce. What do you say to Elon Musk about his feeling about the economy? Jamie Dimon has said similar things.
Well, let me tell you, while Elon Musk is talking about that, Ford is increasing their investment overwhelmingly. I think Ford is increasing the investment in building new electric vehicles, 6,000 new employees, union employees, I might add, in the Midwest. The former Chrysler Corporation, Stellantis, they are also making similar investments in electric vehicles. Intel is adding 20,000 new jobs for making computer chips. You know, lots of luck on his trip to the moon. I mean, you know.
So, based upon the reports that Elon was putting out, Elon was reducing the workforce. They basically set up a layup for Biden to kind of dunk on him. And it's just, you know, it's interesting just watching that. It's not even to get political. It's just like, wow. It's, you know, Biden, he took his dunk. He was like, hey, it's wish him luck on his way to the moon. The Money Talks intro, by the way, today. I think I'll be on live when it comes out. It was a good intro. It had to do with the play on the words moon. Hopefully you guys will appreciate it and enjoy it. I came up with it in like 2 minutes. It took me a lot of deep thinking when I looked into the words, but I figured it out. But anyway, the idea is, so basically Joe Biden has said, look, Elon, I don't care if you're cutting workforce, which isn't that true because Elon clarified he's not really cutting workforce. It's just certain types of workers. But good luck on your trip to the moon. Now, Elon and Joe have always had a little bit of an antagonistic relationship. Elon responded to that by saying, hey, thanks, Mr. President. And there was a link of him going to NASA, or like the NASA selecting SpaceX to actually go to the moon. So like the government working with one of his companies. It's such a weird love-hate relationship with Joe Biden and Elon, because it's like Elon's doing obviously phenomenal things, but the way he presents himself is very abrasive to elites, especially Democratic elites. That and you know, one could make the argument that rightfully so. The way Elon has been treated by the Democrats and the way Elon has been treated by politicians in general, given the innovation the guy is doing, is probably not, you know, the best. But it's a nice little cat and dog back and forth race that they have, because obviously Biden saying good luck to your trip to the moon, it's like, my guy, come on now. This is important. Like, we kind of do need to go to the moon. We kind of do need to become a multiplanetary species, because it's hard to get it out of there. Oh, breaking news. Hold on. Elon Musk says he believes Twitter is breaching their merger agreement by not providing information about spam and fake accounts. Boom. Just got the Bloomberg update. We're about to have market open in a second, so we'll see what happens to Twitter stocks. Elon Musk, Twitter. I said Twitter stocks. Yeah, to Twitter. Elon Musk, here we go. So we're going to see what happens in a second. Elon Musk sent a new letter to Twitter saying the spam bot stuff is a clear material breach of Twitter's obligation under the merger agreement. Musk reserves all rights resulting therefrom, including his right not to... Wow. Oh, boy. Twitter's about to go... Yo, this is why it's fun to do market open. We're going to see what happens to Twitter. Oh, my. That's kind of crazy. This is a big deal. We're gonna get through this. Okay, so let's do the market open, then let's read this, because I don't want to miss the market open. But do you guys see that? That's insane. Elon's not going through with the deal. He's not doing it. He's not doing the deal. He's not doing the deal. He's not. That's what it seems like. He's not doing the deal. Let me make sure the sound is good for you guys as I go back to Webull. We're gonna open the market in about 30 seconds. I'm gonna make sure I time it right. Sound. Oh, let me the volume up to 70. The volume should be a lot better now. Hopefully it's not too bad for anybody. Wow. We're going to see what happens to Twitter. Oh my goodness. That's if he thinks it's a material breach, that's why he was trying to prove it was a material breach. All right. 3, 2, 1. The market is open. Wake your ass up. The market is open. Let's see what happens to Twitter. Oh, boy. We're going right to Twitter. I'm going right to it at 9:30 when it clicks. Here we go. Here we go. Boom. There's Twitter. What's happening? What's happening? There you go. 38.18. It's dropped. It's dropped. This is real time. I want to see what happens. S&P is up to 415. Wow. Okay, so Twitter's down at 5%. I could see Twitter getting halted if it gets that bad. Twitter's down below 38. It's going to drop. 37, there you go. Orders are coming in now. Okay, let's go back to that. Palantir's up 3%, looking nice. SPY up 1%. Again, this market is very green, and it's nice, but it feels doesn't feel natural. Amazon pro-split. Up 3%. Tesla up 4%. Let's review this letter. Okay, so let's read this. Dear Mrs. Gay, this is the head legal expert at Twitter. By the way, let me look at the comments real quick. What are you guys saying before we read through this? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, is this final? Well, this is not final. This is just what they sent today. Okay, let's read this. Mr. Musk does not agree with the characterization in Twitter's June 1st letter. Twitter has, in fact, refused to provide the information that Mr. Musk has repeatedly requested since May 9, 2022 to his evaluation of spam and fake accounts on the company's platform. Twitter's latest offer to simply provide additional details regarding the company's own testing methodologies, whether through written materials or verbal explanations, is tantamount to refusing Mr. Musk's data's request. Twitter's effort to characterize it otherwise is merely an attempt to obfuscate and confuse the issue. Mr. Musk has made it clear that he does not believe the company's lax testing methodologies are adequate, so he must conduct his own analysis. The data he's requested is necessary to do so. As noted, under various terms of the merger agreement, Twitter is required to provide data and information that Mr. Musk requests in connection with the consummation of the transaction. Twitter's obligations to provide Mr. Musk with information is not, as the company's June 1 letter suggests, limited to a very specific purpose. Let me actually just put this on a Google Doc. It'll be easier to read this. Wow, this is interesting. The reason I'm reading this is because this is incredibly interesting what's happening right here. Okay. To the contrary, Mr. Musk is entitled to seek and Twitter is obligated to provide information and data from any reasonable business purpose related to the consumption of the closing of the deal, of the transaction. Twitter must also provide reasonable cooperation. Mr. Musk's request for user data not only satisfies both criteria, but also meets Twitter's narrowed interpretation of the merger agreement. So they're trying to use the legal terms that are more vague in the justification to kind of make an argument at the end of the day for why this is a material breach of the contract. As Twitter's prospective owner, Mr. Musk is clearly entitled to the requested data to enable him to prepare for transitioning Twitter's business to his ownership and facilitate his transaction financing. To do both, he must have a complete and accurate understanding of the very core of Twitter's business model, its active user base. In an event, Mr. Musk is not required to explain his rationale for requesting the data, nor submit new conditions the company has attempted to impose his contractual right to the requested data. At this point, Mr. Musk believes Twitter is transparently refusing to comply with its obligations under the merger agreement, which is causing further suspicion that the company is withholding the requested data due to the concern for Mr. Musk's own analysis of the data will uncover. If Twitter is confident in its publicized spam estimates, Mr. Musk does not understand the company's reluctance to allow Mr. Musk to independently evaluate those estimates. That I agree with. If they're confident, you should be able to give Elon whatever he needs to get this deal done, because you're not getting a better offer than $54.20 as well. As noted in our previous correspondence, Mr. Musk will, of course, comply with the restrictions provided, including by ensuring that anyone reviewing the data is not by an NDA. Mr. Musk will not retain or otherwise use any competitive sensitive information, blah, 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 blah. So basically, they're like, look, we need this. The last thing it says, based on Twitter's behavior to date, this is the last part. Twitter is a place for weirdos anyways. Well, Twitter is very powerful. Based on Twitter's behavior to date, the company's latest correspondence, in particular, Mr. Musk believes the company is actively refusing and thwarting his information rights under the merger agreement. This is a clear material breach right there. Those words, that's what we've been stressing, that if he finds a material breach of the agreement that has adverse effects, he can get out of the deal. Under the merger agreement, and Mr. Musk reserves all rights resulting therefrom, including his right to not consummate the transaction and his right to terminate the merger agreement. It is done. It is done. Well, the deal is still on. The deal, I mean, like, if Twitter ponies up this data, the deal is on. But I think if I were Twitter, right? Let's look at their stock, by the way. Why wouldn't I just, like, get out of the deal? They didn't want to sell to him anyway. I mean, yes, the stock price is going to drop, but, like, it'll come back over the next 4 or 5 years, hopefully, right? Like with everything else. So if I was Twitter, wouldn't I just want to get out of it? Be like, all right, leave. We're not giving you the data. You can leave. And then Musk would be like, all right, I'm going to leave. Because obviously Musk, as much as he cares about free speech, he does not want to pay $44 billion for Twitter right now. Like, it's very obvious, right? That's what's going on. It's interesting. Matt Money, when you free this week to stream my channel or yours? Matt, bro, DM me on Twitter. I'm free all week. Let me know. I could be any channel. I don't care. So just DM me on Twitter. This is super, super interesting, bro. Super, super interesting. Wow. So Twitter hasn't reacted that badly. It's only down like 6%. I mean, I would expect it to get down like to the 30s if people think this deal is not going to happen. But it's only down 5%. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Interesting. All right, well, let's go to some other news. We've got Palantir at $9.08, up 1.4%. Again, the whole market is pretty green. Nothing too crazy, as you can see in the watch list. Black Sky, by the way, I don't know if you guys are in this. This bad boy went up like 150% over the past couple of days. It was let's look at the 5-day. It was at, where was it at? Oh, no, we got to go back to let's go to the 1 month. Yeah, here we go. It was at $1.25. It went up to all the way to $3.70. They got some new contract, which made Black Sky pop. But yeah, that's one of those Palantir SPACs. I don't buy the SPACs. I know people are like, do you buy the SPAC? I'm like, I don't buy the SPACs. I buy Palantir. I'd rather just get exposure to the SPAC via Palantir. But man, that's interesting. ARK is at 43.86. ARK is up about 2% in the pre-market or opening bell to market. Apple, we got to talk about Apple. They have their Worldwide Developers Conference today. Okay, let me pull up a link real quick that discusses what's going on with Apple. Now, Apple, we're likely not going to see. Also, by the way, we got to go over Coinbase rescinding some offers, so we're going to talk about that in a second. We're likely not going to see the headset. That's what most people thought we were going to see. That's not going to happen. It's probably not ready yet. 2023 is the more estimated time frame, and the operating system is not ready yet. Now, the interesting thing about the operating system for Apple is if they create their next S-curve, which is their next growth curve, they had the Mac, they had the iPhone, they had the iPad, they had the watch, they had AirPods. All of these were independent S-curves. Obviously, the iPhone was the biggest one. Their next thing is either going to be the car or this headset thing. And the car kind of sucks. Like they're not really building a car. A car is very hard. It's not going to be better than Tesla. And if Apple's not best in class, then they're not going to make something. So I mean, they might make a car, but it's just probably going to be longer away. The headset though is super interesting, right? So we're going to see likely iOS 16. That's going to be there. We're going to see potential iPhone 14 rumors, iPad OS 16. They're trying to make the iPad a little bit more like the Mac, so like it's a little bit more cross-functional. Mac OS 13, we might get some new Mac OS updates. Watch OS, so we're going to see some more stuff on the watch, TV. A lot of this stuff is boring, right? Maybe hardware possibilities, MacBook Air. Maybe we might get that. Mac Pro. Now, the AR/VR headset. Again, this looks like this is not going to happen, but this is super interesting because when that does happen, it is going to be a very, very interesting part of Apple's growth curve because the headset is going to be the next operating system for Apple. Just like the App Store was the operating system for these phones, the headset will create what is going to be called Reality OS, which is what they, I think, patented. They like filed a trademark for that name. And Reality OS is going to have a bunch of developers creating a lot of virtual reality platforms for this operating system or for this headset, which is going to be really interesting. Now, the first version of the headset is probably going to suck, right? Like Apple always has multiple versions of the headset before it like actually has something that's really, really good, just like the iPhone. But so we're probably not going to see that. Now, the reason this is important also, I want to show you guys something that happened on Twitter or that I posted. This was really surprising to me. So this is a screenshot by Apple. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Personalized ads. Personalized ads in Apple apps such as the App Store and Apple News help you discover apps, products, and services that are relevant to you because they're personalized. We protect your privacy by using device-generated identifiers and not linking advertising information to your Apple ID. Regardless, they're using your data to find personalized ads. Apple does not track you. turn off personalized ads, turn on personalized ads. The craziest thing about this is, and this screenshot was tweeted by someone over the weekend, Apple decimated an entire industry with iOS 14 and getting rid of the tracking that existed on that software. What do I mean by decimated an entire industry? Facebook ads are only effective insofar as they can give you relevant ads, right? Like any advertising is only effective as if they give you relevant advertising. So Apple decided to destroy Facebook's advertising network. Now, obviously, Facebook's not dead, but goodness, did they put a dent in it by saying that the iPhone, which is the main operating system that Facebook operates on, is not going to allow users to get tracked for certain things anymore, blah, 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 blah. Shopify is a massive company that allows individual merchants to sell things. Most people, and I know this before because I started a Shopify business a couple years ago, the way you get traffic to your Shopify store is you run Facebook ads. That's it. Like there's no other secret. I mean, now it's probably TikTok, but like the way you drive traffic to Shopify to a store where you're selling, you know, your own brand of clothing, you have to have some type of marketing campaign, right? Because you can't just put it out there. No one's going to show up if there's no form of marketing. There has to be a distribution mechanism for people that actually care about your content, and that is structured through Facebook ads. Facebook ads and targeting had a great relationship with Shopify. Both of those collapsed when Apple took that away, and now the irony. So my caption was, Apple asking to serve personalized ads. Does anyone who think Facebook is evil now think Apple is evil for serving up personalized ads? Or is it just okay for Apple to just ban the biggest tech companies in the world from not having strong ad businesses? I mean, this was insane. Also, we're going to talk about Pelosi. Chris, I saw that tweet in a second. We're going to talk about that. But this is insane, man. Apple destroys Facebook's advertising business, stops all these small businesses from just being able to get tracking so that they can serve relevant ads, which, by the way, makes the user experience better. This is not necessarily the worst thing for privacy. It just makes your experience better. And then on their platforms where they're selling ads, they want to make it personalized. And even look at the vocabulary, right? On your iPhone, it says like track me or don't track me or something. On here, it's like personalized or not personalized versus tracking, which obviously the vocabulary, the vernacular there is fundamentally different. So I mean, it's Apple's the behemoth at the end of the day. I mean, this is why they are the company they are. But goodness, man, it sucks to see them do this because it's not good for small businesses. It's just not the way we would want it for small businesses. All right, let's go to Pelosi. She just bought some stocks. Here we go. Nancy Pelosi just bought Apple and Microsoft calls. The bottom must be in. Pelosi really does love the stock market, bro. She trades, bro. She's constantly buying stuff. And we get to know because she's part of the Senate, right? So we get to see her trades. Apple, from 500 to 1 million was the amount she bought. Purchased 100 call options with a strike price of 80 and an expiration date of March 17, 2023. It's not that far from here. It's not even a year from now. Same thing with Microsoft. So if Pelosi's buying Apple and Microsoft, let's see we go on here. Nancy Pelosi just spent around $2 million on these calls. She bought 100 Apple on March 17, 2023, $80 calls worth up to $1 million. 50 Apple June 16, 2023, $80 calls worth up to $500,000. 10 Microsoft calls, 40 Microsoft, 180, 100,000, 500,000. Interesting. Pelosi is down a lot this year. Yeah, Pelosi's down a lot this year, but when Pelosi starts buying, when any politician starts buying, you always got to think, because, like, they sold right at the top during COVID. They got right back in at the bottom. Like, they know some of the stuff that's going on, man. They know absolutely some of the stuff that's going on. Elon Musk, I am reserving the right to terminate the Twitter deal if there is a breach of information. Wow, man. Let's go back to Twitter. Let's see what's going on there. Admit she's not doing the trades. She has a manager to do that. Yeah, but she calls the shots, man. Like her manager runs it by her. And the thing is, her manager probably relies on her for information because she's Pelosi. She knows this stuff. I doubt all the things that she bought has been purely from a manager. It's just like Bill Gates. Oh, by the way, did you guys see this Bill Gates video? Yo, we gotta watch this. This was wild, bro. So I'm just gonna play it and then we'll talk about it. Okay. I'm just going to play and then we'll talk about it.
It's a text message discussion between you and Elon Musk, so the owner of Tesla and recently Twitter. The screenshots were leaked on Twitter, and Elon Musk a few days ago, as you know, confirm this discussion happened. So in this chat, Elon Musk said that he can't work with you on philanthropic projects because you were shorting on Tesla, basically trying to make profit with the fall of Tesla's stock price. And Elon Musk sees this as contradictory to the desire to fight climate change, as he says you should support Tesla's electric development. First of all, do you think he's right? And then, most importantly, how do you handle the fact as a billionaire, you might want to fight for causes, whatever they are, like climate change, but at the same time, you might want to make your money grow through investments?
Well, Tesla's not short of capital, and Tesla's done a fantastic job. The cars are great. I give a lot more money to climate change than Elon or anyone else. I give lots of philanthropic dollars. I back companies. You know, electric cars are about 16% of emissions, so we also need to solve that other 84%. But, you know, he's done a great job. But somebody shorting his stock doesn't slow him down or hurt him in any way.
Boom! Did you... Bro, did you see that? Let's go to Tesla right now. It's Tesla at 7-Eleven. So Bill Gates, so the interviewer asked him straight up, hey, there was this conversation, and what do you feel about shorting the stock? Now, Bill Gates basically has two responses, right? He's like, look, I do a lot for charity as well. You can't pay me out as some evil person because I'm shorting stock, which he didn't admit yet fully. But he's just saying, like, I help with climate change and all this stuff, and we have to do other things other than just electric vehicles, which is a cop-out because, like, electric vehicles account for, like, vehicles and transportation. Tesla is a stepping stone. It's a precedent. If Tesla can solve this problem, can they solve electric airplanes, which is a whole, like there's so much value to just Tesla being alive as a company. And then he says, shorting the stock doesn't stop anyone. First of all, that makes no sense. Like, tell me if you think that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. Now, if he said shorting the stock is a good economical metric, or it's a good economic paradigm to ensure that there is a market of winners and losers, right? Because some people have to buy calls, some people have to buy puts. If you sell a stock, someone has to buy the stock. Someone has to hold the bag. Someone has to, you know, take the bag all the way to the bank. Like, that's just the nature of the stock market. There's winner and losers, and if you're in it for a decent amount of time and you learn a lot of things, then you end up winning more than you lose, which involves shorting things that you probably shouldn't store, buying calls on things you shouldn't buy calls, right? Like, it's just the nature of the market. But the way he said it was, shorting the stock doesn't hurt or slow him down. That is incorrect. When you are shorting a company, you are hoping it falls. You are putting selling pressure. You are putting massive pressure against the stock from going up because you're shorting it. That's how shorting works. So when you usually, the goal of shorting a stock in the market is to weed out bad companies and to have some type of economic tool in the free market that can stop companies from doing bad things. Like if a company's doing fraud, or a company's this, or a company's like violating human rights or something, you want to be able to short those stocks because you want those companies not to be, you know, exist anymore. That's like the activist level of it. And then the economical level of it, just the pure market type, is like, you think Apple's overvalued. You think it's going to go down. So you're going to short it because you think it's too highly valued. I think Bill does not disagree with Tesla's mission. I think he just disagrees with the valuation, right? And he's like, I want to short it because I think it's going to go down. However, when you short it because you think it's going to go down, you are helping it go down because you, for whatever reason you have, he probably thinks it's overvalued, whatever, you think it's overvalued, you think it should go down. That is theoretically slowing Elon from making progress, because if the stock price is not going up, if the company's not growing, if there's not more investor sentiment, if it's not positive, if we're not in a bull market, it's hard for Tesla to be Tesla. If the Fed doesn't pump all that liquidity and artificially create a bull market, Tesla does not become the behemoth that it is right now. Tesla used a lot of that money that it got from its share price rising to be able to finance a lot more operations, to build a lot more factories. That doesn't just happen out of nowhere. You need a good market. Like, you can't have Tesla thriving in a crappy market. And shorting a stock ensures that the market is not going to be helpful to Tesla. So, man, it's interesting. It's very, 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 very interesting, the fact that he said that. Like, when I saw that video, I was just like, what are you saying, my guy? Like, what are you, like, it doesn't slow him. It does slow him down, but just admit, oh, by the way, Palantir is down 885. We just fell 1%. We were at 9. We just fell down. I mean, if you say it's overvalued, just say it's overvalued, bro. Like, I would feel, I think this is the thing about Bill Gates that's weird. He's just never, it's like every time he talks, you feel like he has this agenda, or that he's not saying stuff that he wants. Just be like, yo, if he got out and was like, you know, I really think Tesla's overvalued. I think they're a great company. I think they're phenomenal cars. I think they have a phenomenal mission, but they should not be worth close to $1 trillion. That's not what the market cap of Tesla should be. I have made a decision, put my money where my mouth is, and I believe Tesla will go down. I will profit from Tesla going down. And then, hey, I might buy Tesla shares when they're at $300 a pop. If he had just said that, like, I feel like we would have so much more respect for him, because we're like, all right, we disagree with you, but at least, like, you're just a bear on Tesla. You're not this guy that's like, I support Elon and all this stuff, but shorting doesn't hurt the stock. It's like, no, bro, shorting does hurt the stock. Someone says, what's more likely, Tesla at 50 or Tesla at 5,000 10 years from now? It's a good question. I would say Tesla at 5,000 years from now is much more likely than Tesla at 50. That's just me. But I guess Elon, what's his name? Bill feels different. We're giving up some of our market open gains. Tesla's at 730, now it's at 711. QQQ, it's down a little bit from when it was at 310. Amazon's holding nice. Twitter's holding nicely for everything that's going on. Twitter's holding nicely. Let's go to CNBC. Let's see what content we got going on there and what's happening there. Bum 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 bum. Money Talks, I think, will be out in 10 minutes, so we will be able to see my intro on Money Talks. Do we have any Tesla stuff and Twitter stuff? No. Bump, bump, ba, 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 bump, bump. Do not expect a V-shaped market recovery. Yeah, it's probably not going to be a V-shaped market recovery. Oh, man. This is interesting. All right, nothing crazy over there. Tesla's down to 37, or Twitter's down to 37. YouTuber stocks will go down the most. Palantir, Tesla, Jazz. I mean, hey, you might be right. You might be wrong. We'll see what happens. Samuel, what's up? What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, everybody, for hearing here. If you hear a YouTuber shill a stock, then run. You know, there are some people that feel like that. There are other people that actually just listen to analysis. It's not that interesting. It's not that easy to talk about stocks and analysis, right? And like actually analyze a company. So I think when people think of shilling a stock, of making like a bunch of videos on a stock, it's more so like trying to analyze the stock more than anything in the markets. But, you know, if you don't make content, you probably never experience that, because a lot of times people are too scared to make content. So it's easy to type things on the keyboard. It has been a while. I've been busy. Hope you're good, Mint team. Samuel, hope you are good. Hope you are doing as well. Elon sells Tesla stock and slows the growth, also for symbolic projects like buying Twitter, not supporting Bill, just taking effect. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Elon and this Twitter thing, he got away with selling $8 billion worth of Tesla in hopes of buying Twitter, and now he might not even buy Twitter. So he kind of justified this, because if he sold $8 billion of Tesla, he would be telling the market, hey, I think Tesla's overvalued. I want to take some profits. So using Twitter as the cover, which people said that was the conspiracy in the beginning. I don't know if you guys remember, that was the conspiracy in the beginning, that Twitter was the scapegoat for Elon to sell $8 billion worth of Tesla. And I mean, maybe they end up becoming right. SoFi's at 7, opens at 746. SoFi and Open have held strong in the $7 range. They were trading at like $4, $5 over the past month. So if you load it up when they were at that range, they're there. Facebook's at 191. I guess the question is, and we talked about this on Money Talks today, when is the best time to start buying growth stocks again? I put in the chat, who's started nibbling down and started DCAing on their highest conviction growth stocks? Or just growth stocks in general? Who started nibbling down and buying growth stocks? I have not started yet, by the way. But who has started like actually putting in, you know, a couple $1,000 orders as they've been buying it? Amit, I need to buy a new phone, iPhone 13 Pro or Samsung S2022 Ultra. Both. Okay, I'm an iPhone bull. I've never used an Android. I just can't, bro. I'm probably be iPhone till I die. iPhone's just what I. But like, if you like the Samsung thing, then use the Samsung. But Apple is my choice, man. Apple has just always been my choice. Babylon Health. This is another Palantir SPAC. It is below. It's up 11%. Everclear, you said it's up 40%. Yeah, I didn't get any of the SPACs below $1. It's buying it as penny stocks was not exciting to me, even though Babylon is growing massively. But in this market, it's just really scary, man. Even Wejo, it's hard to put money. It's just very scary to put some money into this stuff right now. Tech Matters, you've been buying. Chris Patel going to wait a year or two. A year or two is interesting. Inflation, interest rate rise, bad for growth. Like, Chris, you're technically right about this. The question is, does the market go crazy like 2020, or like a version of 2020 and you miss out. I don't think that's going to happen. I think waiting a year or two is actually very reasonable. But people would have said that during COVID and then the market went crazy. But the difference is the Fed has nowhere to hide now, right? There's no liquidity coming in. This is an actual logical. I mean, it was really logical to see the market going up with the Fed putting that much liquidity. That's not happening anymore. So once an inflation comes under control, then buy growth. Yeah, if we can get lower than 5% this year, I think it'd be very bullish. But it's gonna be hard to see that happen. See, a stock like Enphase is one of those stocks. Let me show the 1 month. We were at 128 on May 11th. A stock like Enphase goes crazy when there's a bull rally, 214. Now, I think 214 is very expensive for Enphase, but it's one of those stocks that if you guys saw like the max, it's just like it was flat from 2012 to 2018, and then boom, it just exploded. They make the things underneath the solar panels, and they're like one of two companies in the world that does it. They're just growing like absolutely crazy. 207 is probably too much to start nibbling into this. I would say even Vitaly, who's the guy who's a big Enphase bull, we did a video together. He thought 150 was a little bit too expensive as well. But when there's a bull market, there's some stocks that actually explode. The question is this sustainable right now? Like this past rally, I mean, we're essentially rallying, right? The S&P's up, QQQ's up. Is this sustainable? Nvidia, not Nvidia, is at 190. Interesting as well. My opinion, buy Palantir only and worry no more. Man, if Palantir goes to what we think it's going to go to, like if it actually becomes that thing, which all indications are it should, right? Then it would be a hell of a story. Salesforce at 187. I didn't know how much Salesforce is diluting people. I looked at some of their share increases, and Salesforce has been issuing a lot of shares. And it's not like dilution is the worst thing in the world, but it's also not the best thing in the world. So Salesforce has been diluting people. Recession is the cure to inflation. Yeah, unfortunately. Recession is the cure to inflation. I'm in some SPACs, but small positions, loving that less than $1 BBLN I grabbed. Yeah, not bad, Everclear. To get that less. I never stop DCing into any of my positions. I don't know where the bottom is, so I just throw a few dollars in every day. And I mean, that's the way you kind of got to do it at the end of the day, especially for like an indexy if you're buying the index. But ultimately, we're going to see what happens with this. Google's interesting, man. Google's at what, 2359, and Google was at 2000. It was just hitting below the 1900s, or like yeah, it was 2063, right, on or 2054 on 2044, May 31st, 2022. So $44 away from in the 1900s, and then boom, it just had a rebound. And now the question is this sustainable? I mean, that's the question of the week. Yeah, are we gonna have a third week rally in the row? Let's look at the S&P. And then we're probably going to sign off. S&P rallies. Let's look at their 6 months. Or sorry, let's look at their 1 month. Yeah. So S&P, the lowest we got to was 380 May 20th. It has been 16 days from May 20th. In the past 16 days, which is basically 2 weeks, right? A week is 14. 2 weeks is 14 days. So in the past 2 weeks, we've rallied. We've had 2 good weeks, basically. For we've gone all the way from the bottom, 380, to a nice little 415. Next, the end of this week, if we get to like 420, that'll be our third green week in a row. And then we get to like maybe 422, fourth green week. Then maybe we're hitting 427. That's our fifth green week. So I think the next 2 weeks are going to be telling if we keep going up and we actually get there, or we just fall back down. What is your timeline for Palantir? I really don't want to sell till 2027, 2028, 2030. I just want to buy it and hold it, to be honest. I was talking to a former person who worked at Palantir, and they said that they're also holding the stock because they don't want to be like the people that sold at IPO in Facebook for like $40 and then watch them run up to 320. Like, when you know a company is super powerful, you have to ignore everything else and just like hold your shares at one point and trust it. Chris says he's waiting for the housing crash. He's going to buy a mini mansion for half off. Chris, I will fly to Atlanta or wherever you're at to make sure I get to see the mansion as well. All right. We are done for today. Thank you everyone for being here. Market's pretty boring. I think the biggest thing is the Tesla news. That's the biggest thing for today. So I'm gonna make a couple of videos talking about it, and we'll see how this Tesla Twitter deal ends out. Monday morning. Enjoy your week. Have a great start to week. Got a lot of stuff going on this week. Might have some important decisions come out in my personal life this week. I will let everybody know as they happen. And yeah, we'll keep going from there. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this Market Open live stream. I will see you tomorrow again. Bye-bye.